Hello, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Village of Lytton for November 12th, 2025. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone to please turn off your videos, mute your microphones to allow council to begin the proceedings. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and broadcasted on the Village of Lytton YouTube channel. If you wish to view this meeting or access a video recording of a past meeting, you can visit the Village YouTube channel and watch it there. Thank you, Your Worship. You may call the meeting to order.
Thank you. I call this regular council meeting of November the 12th to order at 7:01. To begin, I just want to recognize that we are meeting on the unceded traditional ancestral territory of the Entlecapan people. And we will move right on to adopting the agenda for tonight. And we are going to amend it and remove item number 10. And that item is going to be brought back to hopefully our next meeting. And so please, a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
So move Lytton.
Thank you. Seconder.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor? And carried. We'll move on to the adoption of minutes of the regular council meeting of October the 28th. We need a motion to adopt those minutes. Thank you, Councillor Toss. Seconder, Councillor McCann. Were there any errors or omissions? All those in favor? That's carried. And now the adoption of the minutes for the special council meeting that was held on November the 4th. Please, a motion to adopt those.
Motion.
Thank you, Councillor Michelle. Seconder, Councillor Lightfoot. Any errors or omissions? All those in favor and carried. Right, we have no business arising from the minutes or unfinished business, so we will move right on to public comment. And I will turn it over to Corporate Officer Storchenko.
Thank you, Your Worship. We now invite members of the public to provide comments on items related to tonight's agenda. If you'd like to speak, please use the raise hand function on Zoom. You can find that by clicking react at the bottom of your screen and select raise hand. When it's your turn, I'll read your name and you'll be asked to unmute yourself. You'll have 2 minutes to speak. Speakers are asked to please state and spell your name, provide your address, and indicate the agenda item number that you're speaking to. So if anyone would like to speak, please use the raise hand function now. I'll call for a second time. If anyone would like to speak, please use the raise hand function now. And Your Worship, there's no one here at Parish Hall, so back to you.
Thank you. So this may be a record-breaking short meeting because we don't have a lot on the agenda, but we do have one staff report, and that is from our Director of Development. And I'm not sure that she's on the call. I don't see her listed, and I'm wondering if our corporate officer, no, our CAO would like to speak to this.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. Yes, I'm sorry, we've got a little bit of confusion here. Our Director of Development was off last week and I'm off this week and we just haven't gotten coordinated. So I apologize. I was expecting for her to be here, but we haven't actually talked. So the Development Services Activity Report is in the package and it contains similar information to what we've been including all along with respect to building permits and whatnot that have been issued. I do believe that, there is some additional information here about some of the other activities that have been ongoing in that department, particularly with respect to things like Pocket Park and Chief Splittenham Park and the OCP update and some of those activities. So a lot of that work, particularly with the outdoor park work has kind of wound down for the year as we're moving into the winter. And we'll pick that back up in the spring. So I'll just leave it at that and attempt to answer any questions that council may have.
Yeah, thank you. And as you said, the presentation in the report is very similar to what we've seen before in the same format. So it's easy for us to take a look at. Are there any questions regarding this from anyone from council? I know when I read, there was no surprises or anything that really stood out. So we will then make a motion, please, to accept this report for information. Councillor Lightfoot, seconder.
Seconder Toss.
Thank you, Councillor Toss. All those in favor? That's carried as well. We had one piece of correspondence, and it came from Honorable Jody Wickens, Minister of Children and Family Development, regarding November as Adoption and Permanency Awareness Month. We're going to be receiving this letter for information. I'd like to put that motion forward.
So moved.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor McCann. Are there any comments on that from anyone? No? That's it's kind of interesting to see that that is a month dedicated to that. That's great. All those in favor? Carried. We'll move right on to verbal reports. And I have mine here. So 2 weeks ago was the end of October 28th was our last council meeting. I'd like to make a quick comment on Halloween and how encouraged I was with the number of children that came trick-or-treating in the village on that very windy, very rainy evening. Personally, I counted over 50 people came to my door, and I've heard others say that those that answered their doors as well, even more in some houses. So to me, really, it's just another way to gain a check on traditions returning to the village. So that was quite encouraging. It's been a very, very busy 2 weeks for me. Someone asked me recently, how busy is the job as mayor? And my answer is sometimes it's crazy busy and sometimes not so much. There's downtime, and that's just the way it goes. The last 2 weeks have been very busy. But I also shared with them that although I have a lot of meetings, there are some meetings that I really can't talk about. Not because I don't want to share information or I don't want to be transparent, but I can't speak about them until the time is right. And that's just the way the work goes in local government. Anyways, right after Halloween, on Monday, November the 3rd, I attended a Gold Country Zoom meeting. Of course, Gold Country is gearing up for this Saturday's Community Excellence Awards event. That's taking place in Cache Creek. And if you remember, there was a voting campaign that occurred early in the fall, and the results are going to be announced at that event. And I hopefully will hear some names from our area announced as winners. On Wednesday, the 5th, I was in Kamloops at a TNRD budget workshop in preparation for their 2026 budget. The TNRD has developed an infographic for each community in the regional district. They've done this for a couple of years now, and I had a copy and I forgot it at home, but it is on their website. It shows a breakdown of the different services for Lytton and how many cents in, I think it's per, oh gosh, I don't have the numbers in front of me, per $100,000 assessment value goes toward those services. So, but that it is on the TNRD website. On Thursday the 6th, there was a Thompson-Nicola Hospital District Board meeting in the morning and a regular TNRD board meeting in the afternoon. At the hospital district meeting, there was a couple of interesting presentations. One was from the Kamloops Cancer Supported Care Society, which is a grassroots group that are now a registered nonprofit society, and their objective is to advocate for cancer support, for a cancer supportive care center that will provide services around navigating supports for patients and their families who are undergoing cancer treatments, as well as helping to address the effects of cancer in their daily lives, like their physical health, their mental health, and not just for Kamloops, but for the region, which is great. Also, Interior Health presented on the virtual overnight emergency service that they are piloting in Clearwater, Lillooet, and Princeton. And of course, the aim is to reduce emergency closures and disruptions by having virtual support available. And I did hear it on CBC radio this morning. I think it was, there was a report on it. And then there was also discussion by the board at the TNRD that maybe this could be a model for service delivery to smaller communities, medical, not without hospitals, but medical centers as well. So who knows? At that same meeting, Director Thorpe brought a motion forward to the board to write a letter to the Ministry of Health regarding the funding for the rebuild of our Lytton Centre. Promotion requested that the 6 First Nation bands in our area be CC'd on the letter, which is great. I made an amendment to that motion to have the Village of Lytton also CC'd on the letter. And I guess we'll see if the province will share with us their financial plan for rebuilding. We'll just wait and see. On Friday, November 7th, I attended a webinar hosted by UBCM regarding the update of the HCA, Heritage Conservation Act. And at that meeting, I learned that the province is now looking to bring the legislation to next year's fall sitting, not the spring sitting. So on Monday morning this week, on behalf of the village, I attended the Remembrance Day Assembly at Kamshin Shmamit School. And again, this year, I was so impressed by the respect that the students of all ages showed and the involvement of the youth in the presentation and ceremony at that event. And of course, yesterday, I attended the Legion Remembrance Day ceremony at the Cenotaph on 4th Street in the village and was honored to read out the messages from our MLA, the Prime Minister, and our MP. And I want to offer congratulations to the Legion Branch 162 on returning this ceremony to the Cenotaph and for their tireless work to rebuild the Legion building. So it's looking so great from the outside. And the work on the interior, of course, is continuing. Unfortunately, I understand they're still waiting for hydro. That is my report. So we will move on to Councillor Toss.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. I have very little to report. I attended the powwow at Stein School on the weekend, which was lovely and nice community event. And like Mayor O'Connor, I was very happy to attend the Legion event and see the community gather in the community. So I really enjoyed those 2 events, and that's my report.
Thank you. Councillor McCann.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. I went to a few things in the last week or so. Of course, the committee of the whole meeting on the 4th of November. On the 5th, I attended the Savage Society performance, the Council of the Spider, Ant, and Fly, and that was fun to be at. On the 8th, I went to Remembrance Day powwow at Stein Valley School as well in the afternoon grand entry. And then on the 10th was coffee here. And then after a short visit at coffee, I went out to the Stein Valley School Remembrance Day Assembly. And like you were saying, it's really nice to see the youth and they're engaged in that process. Also attended the Legion yesterday in the wind, and my final comments are that it was very nice to gather with community at events over the past week or so, and I appreciate the work of volunteers who organized the powwow and the Legion cemetery ceremony. Yeah, I really appreciate that's a lot of work done by everybody in those 2 events. Well done, thank you.
Great, thank you. Councillor Michelle.
Nothing to report.
You can report that you spoke on behalf of the village at the powwow. And thank you for doing that. Yes.
Support that.
And Councillor Lightfoot.
Not a lot to report. Like the rest of us, I attended the committee of the whole on the 4th, and yesterday was able to make it over to the Legion ceremony. And as Mayor O'Connor has said, that it's really good to see it come back to the village. And I believe next year we'll probably have something in the building after the event. Just one other thing to mention is next week on the 20th, the Fire Smart Committee is having a fire information session at the Battlefield Hall from 5 to 7:30, and there will be a light supper provided. So hopefully community members will mark out new books and attend.
Great, good. Thank you. I think our reports were longer than the rest of the meeting. That does bring us now to item number 11, which is moving into closed meeting, and we're going to be discussing 91E. And so we need a motion to move into closed. Councillor Lightfoot, seconder. Awesome. Councillor Michelle, thank you very much. All those in favor? And carried. And so that brings us to the end. So I'll turn it back over to Corporate Officer Dora Shanko.
Thank you, Your Worship. So that concludes the public portion of the regular council meeting for November 12th. We ask that members of the public and staff exit the meeting as council proceeds to close. Thank you for joining us this evening. Council, I invite you to take a short recess while I prepare the meeting for closed.